What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new video where we will talk about the Liverpool pursuit of Alexander Isak, because Liverpool got some huge boosts, some big developments in this transfer saga, because Liverpool are tipped to move for a striker either in January or in the summer transfer window, because there is growing uncertainty around the futures of Darwin Núñez because of his lack of goals and Diogo Jota because of his fitness record. And Liverpool already rejected a £70 million bid for Darwin Núñez earlier in the January transfer window from Al Hilal. So there is genuine interest from Saudi Arabia for Darwin Núñez. And Jota, who is very reliable in front of goal, he's an output machine. When he plays, he scores almost at the rate of Mo Salah. He cannot be counted on to remain fit for extended periods, for a whole season. And Arne Slot already confirmed in a press conference that Liverpool are working on the summer transfers, summer transfer targets. Liverpool are already laying down a groundwork, and signing a striker could be one of the major, big, huge transfers in the summer transfer window. Liverpool have been linked with Stefanos Tsimas and João Pedro previously, but those links have died down recently, and FSG have not taken any steps to improve the attack of Arne Slot in this winter transfer window, because frankly we have 6 strikers. Jota is injured, but with Chiesa being fit, Liverpool can rotate and rest their forward players pretty frequently. And Arsenal also were big admirers of Alexander Isak, but Arsenal are looking to sign Ollie Watkins. They already tabled a £60 million bid for Watkins, which is a crazy amount of money for a 29-year-old striker, but Aston Villa swiftly rejected it. And Aston Villa are selling John Duran for more than 70 or 75 million pounds to Saudi Arabia, which is an absolute crazy amount of money for a backup striker. And some fans are already criticizing John Duran on going to Saudi Arabia and killing his career, but he's still so young. He's like 21, 22 years old, something like that. So he picks up a huge amount of money in the next 1 or 2 years playing in Saudi Arabia, and then he can still go to Europe and play in one of the big leagues. It has been reported by Sky Sports that Arsenal have seen an approach for Ollie Watkins rejected, and Aston Villa will not sell both of their strikers this late in the January transfer window. So it would take a monumental effort for Arsenal to sign Ollie Watkins. But with the 29-year-old striker, England striker Watkins, emerging as Arsenal's primary and priority striker target, it would mean that Isak is off the agenda for Arsenal, and that would mean that Liverpool would have a clear golden opportunity for a clear run at Isak. It remains to be seen what Aston Villa will do if Arsenal increase their bid, but yeah, I mean, it would take some crazy amount of money for Aston Villa to sell both Watkins and John Duran, especially after qualifying to the round of 16 of the Champions League already. So they have some major money boost coming in from the Champions League as well. And Alexander Isak is called one of the best strikers in the world right now, and Liverpool could sensationally price him away from Newcastle. And sources have claimed that the Anfield hierarchy has been particularly persistent about Isak because Liverpool favor him over any other striker, and I can understand why. I think if Liverpool sign Isak, then we could even fill the strike force of Salah, Isak and Gakpo, and those players would score 20 goals each probably almost every season in the next 2 or 3 years. Of course, Newcastle right now are not selling Isak, but with his contract ticking down, and we will talk about the potential contract extension for Isak at Newcastle, that is not happening until the summer. And Liverpool are in a very healthy position when it comes to finances, and when the right player is available, like Moises Caicedo was available, Liverpool are not afraid to bid a huge amount of money. We bid £115 million for Moises Caicedo, and Liverpool have recognized the importance of buying a prolific striker, because we spent like 85 million pounds on Darwin Núñez 2.5 years ago. That transfer wasn't successful, but if we could sell Núñez for a similar amount of money to Saudi Arabia, that would go a long way in funding the Isak transfer. Imagine if Liverpool sell Nunez for like 75 million to Saudi, then we could just slap another 30 million on that, or maybe 40 million, and we could get Isak. What an upgrade that would be. I mean, no disrespect to Darwin Nunez, I'm one of his biggest fans, but he's just nowhere near the clinical finisher that Alexander Isak is. And Nunez got plenty of chances already. He's 2.5 years into his Anfield career, and apart from one great season where he gets 31 goal contributions, in the other seasons, and this season especially, he has vastly underperformed, and he's scoring nowhere near the amount of goals that we expect from a Liverpool number 9. The problem is Newcastle have the richest owners in the world, and they definitely wouldn't want to sell Isak, but they need to comply with the profit and sustainability rules. Selling Isak for 150 million pounds would go a long way in funding Newcastle's future transfers. But Newcastle have been eyeing Viktor Gyökeres, Isak's fellow Swedish strike partner, one of the most prolific strikers in Europe. Viktor Gyökeres over the past couple of years would be a decent replacement, more than decent replacement for Isak. So maybe Newcastle could do a deal for Isak if they can bring in Gyökeres. Newcastle could be planning a spectacular strike partnership if they sign Gyökeres and Isak. I mean, that would be absolutely crazy. And Newcastle have spent their money pretty wisely in recent years. It would be surprising to see the owners pursue a big money move for Gyökeres when Isak is still in such fine form. But maybe if Isak says to Newcastle, I want to leave, I want to go to a bigger club where I can play in the Champions League regularly, I can challenge for trophies and titles regularly, then Isak, maybe Newcastle's hand will be forced. Liverpool right now have a Nunez-shaped hole in their team. The striker department and probably the left back area are the two areas that Liverpool are in need of strengthening the most. And of course, signing a centre back would be very helpful as well, with Van Dijk's future pretty uncertain. And now let's talk about the contract extension, because Newcastle will sit down with Isak in the summer to try and get him to sign a new contract. Until then, Liverpool can lay the groundwork down for a potential summer transfer move for Isak. And Isak still has, 3 years left on his contract. Or maybe it's just 2 years, I'm not sure, because this article says that last year he still had 3.5 years left. So yeah, probably it's 3 years now when it comes to the summer. And the Telegraph revealed that negotiations for a new contract are set to commence at the end of the season, when there are no games to worry about as a distraction. So in the summer, Newcastle will try to extend Isak's contract. So that's until then, Liverpool have time to convince Isak that he should sign for Liverpool. And even though Isak is Newcastle's club record transfer, they signed him in 2022 for 63 million pounds. That money is at the moment transfer well spent, because compared to Nunez, Isak is vastly superior in his numbers this season. Last season they were pretty similar, but you can just see that Isak is such a prolific natural goal scorer, and he's improving. He's still 25 years old, so he's not going to hit his prime yet. In the next 3 years probably is when he will hit his prime. Isak is not distracted about the speculation, and he's not thinking about leaving just yet. He wants to complete the season with Newcastle. Understandably, he wants to see where Newcastle end up in the Premier League table. They can still get top 4, but they are in one hell of a fight with Chelsea and Manchester City and other clubs like Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest to finish in the top 4. But probably top 5 would be enough, because all the English teams qualified to the knockout stages of the Champions League and the Europa League and the Conference League. So there is still a lot of coefficient points to be collected by English teams, and at the moment England are first in the coefficient ranking, which means if England finish in the top 2 countries with the most coefficient points collected this season, then 5th place also qualifies for the Champions League phase in the Premier League. So even finishing top 5 will be enough to qualify for the Champions League this season in the Premier League. And I really like that because I think the Premier League is the strongest league in the world. So it makes sense to reward the 5th place team. And who knows, hopefully a Nottingham Forest or even a Bournemouth could make it into the top 5. What a story that would be. Of course, getting Champions League football would be great for Newcastle because that could be another reason for Isak to stay. Newcastle also agreed a fee with Atalanta United for winger Almiron, so they are selling some of their fringe players in order to comply with the profit and sustainability rules because they don't want to end up in a similar scenario to last season where they had to sell 2 of their big talents to comply with profit and sustainability rules, Minte and Elliot Anderson, and they are both having really good seasons at Brighton and Nottingham Forest respectively. Also, latest news, Bajcetic has agreed to terminate his loan at Salzburg and he's going out on loan to Las Palmas in the Spanish First Division in La Liga. And he was thinking about going to Porto or Las Palmas, but choosing Las Palmas I think makes most sense because what Bajcetic needs right now is just a 20-year-old Spanish midfielder is playing time. He needs to play, and at Porto they have a very, very good array of midfielders, so he would have a fight on his hand to get into the Porto midfield. At Las Palmas he would be a regular starter. He played 19 times for Salzburg, that's not the problem. The problem is only 8 times he started for Salzburg and he hasn't started since the beginning of December, since December the 7th. Pep Inders, the coach who brought Bajcetic on loan to Salzburg, assistant manager to Jurgen Klopp, former assistant manager to Jurgen Klopp, he was sacked before Jurgen Klopp got appointed as the head of football at Red Bull Group, and Bajcetic had a falling out with that led to Bajcetic falling out with out of favor on the new coach Thomas Lesch, and Bajcetic hasn't started the game since December the 7th, so he came on for just the last 5 minutes against Atletico Madrid where Salzburg got thrashed for 4-0 or 4-1. Las Palmas are in 15th place, but they are in desperate need for a midfielder, and Bajcetic will play regularly, and playing the second half of the season in La Liga would go a long way in getting more experience and more playing time and helping Bajcetic's development in La Liga. And from Liverpool's perspective, this transfer could be seen as a very smart strategic play, allowing Bajcetic the chance to get more playing time in a very strong competitive league like La Liga could pay dividends. It's very, very important for young players to get regular playing time and match experience. And Pierce pointed out that the 20-year-old will get his chance to impress Arne Slot in pre-season, and the next 6 months will be important to build his match fitness up and to continue his development, because sitting on the bench at Salzburg is not helping Bajcetic's career. So I'm really, really hoping that Bajcetic can play regularly for Las Palmas, and I will watch their highlights and their games whenever possible to see Bajcetic in action. So Liverpool fans can be optimistic about Bajcetic's potential to make a significant impact under Arne Slot's guidance. Manager known for his ability to develop young talent. Bajcetic could become a pivotal player in Liverpool's midfield next season. So the next 6 months are absolutely crucial in Bajcetic's development. He needs to play, he needs to learn, he needs to adapt, he needs to grow as a player, and hopefully he will become a better player as a result, and he can impress Arne Slot, because Liverpool's midfield is fiercely competitive. But I think Bajcetic could take over the Endo role or the Tyler Morton role and play as a backup midfielder next season. So Liverpool need to be smart with this development of Bajcetic. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to make probably another video later today when we find out Liverpool's exact draw in the Champions League knockout stages, because the draw is at 11 AM UK time. So I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.